Welcome back to Aspiring Creator, the podcast where we chat about all the behind the scenes stuff that's happened since last week in this whole YouTube content creation world of just running a tech YouTube channel predominantly. Obviously, there are other channels off the back of that and off the side of it, and socials and Instagrams and TikToks and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, every single week I write a list down of all the things that have happened since last week, since we sat down and had a chat. And in no particular order, let's get cracking. So in terms of I spent money this week and last week. So it was Black Friday or Black Cyber Monday. And actually what's happened is that Black Friday has turned into pretty much Black Month. The entirety of November, I think. I think Amazon email, and this is, I guess, related to a video. So we had a Black Friday video. And we planned it. We planned to post it at a few days before Black Friday because then you've got the the run up and you get people's attention before. And then I opened Amazon like a month ago, and it was like Black Friday month starts now, or Black Friday week starts now, or whatever it was. And so like Amazon started it so early this year, and I've noticed a similar trend with a lot of other brands. They're just starting it early because the longer they have this sale for, then the more time they've got to sell things. And actually, it's kind of weird because I guess it encourages you to actually get all your Christmas shopping done and all your Christmas presents now because, well, why buy them after Black Friday? Because it's going to be more expensive potentially. And so that was like a whole thing. And so I went on a bit of a shopping spree, so to speak, just because it's always the good time of year to buy certain things in content creation, like SD cards and those kind of things. And so what started me off as buying a few things just kind of snowballed. So I'm going to run through a list just so you can kind of see the things we bought and why we bought them and how we're going to use them in the business. So I ended up buying some SD cards. So we ended up the cameras we use, the Sony cameras we use the is it CF Express Type A or B, like the smaller cards. But it was actually cheaper to buy the CF Express cards than it was to buy the SD cards. That was last year. However, this year we actually even though those cards are good, they write fast. I didn't even check the price of those cards this year because realizing that now we're using those cards means we always have to carry around like the little card dongle thing so we can plug those specific cards in. Whereas those of us that are editing here, they have like MacBook Pros, Mac Studios or whatever it is. So they always have like SD cards in them. So I ended up buying 512 gig SD cards so we can shoot straight to SD and then plug those straight into their machines rather than having to worry about dongles or docks or anything along those lines. So SD cards, I was holding out for a while to buy a few things, and they weren't on Black Friday discount, so I ended up just buying them anyway because, you kind of go, well, they're not on discount, and I've waited, so let's just buy them. So going back to what I was saying last week or a couple of weeks ago about filming a Porsche video, and I wanted to either buy a drone or hire a company to do the footage, and I kind of did both. So I bought the drone now, actually got to use it for the first time last week. Was an incredible experience, like doing the Porsche video, shooting it. We had like a girl at the production company was literally sat in the boot of a car with the boot up. She was tethered to the car, so if she fell out, then she would be safe, or she wouldn't fall out. That's the thing. And like shooting video out the back of a moving car was just, and I was following her and getting very close to make the shots look good. It was a very, very fun experience. So I ended up buying a drone, and I got some very, very cool shots with that. I didn't have time to set the drone up. I literally just set the drone up and literally turned it on, everything in full auto, threw it up into the sky and started recording things. Now I did have the A2 CFC, like the certification you have to have in the UK here to fly drones in certain places. That expired, and I do need to go and do it again. So I need to go and renew that, and I guess repay to take the whole thing again because in January regulations changed. That means I can now fly that drone in a lot more places. Essentially, if I'm 5 meters away from somebody horizontally, then I need to be 5 meters away vertically, or vice versa. Sorry, if I'm 5 meters in the air, then I need to be 5 meters away horizontally as well. Whereas now it's like I need to be 50 meters away, which basically means nowhere in this residential built-up area. So I'll be able to use my nice big shiny 6K drone in lots of other situations. And actually, just today, we took a shot where we just flew it over the car park where we are. And just getting these kind of shots, and there was a particular shot we got actually that we need to practice to get better at actually controlling it. But after watching things like, what's the Ben? What's the Netflix show that has the little shot on one 4D drone camera thing? Do you remember what it was called? it was about a kid, and like it just literally followed a kid, and I can't remember what it's called. No, I never can't remember it. But there was basically this video shot, like it was a 4 or 5 part series on Netflix. They've just done one for Ed Sheeran where it's all shot on like a 5D. What's it called? It's called a DJI Ronin 4D. That was what it was called. That's the camera they were using. And they had these particular shots where obviously it's all handheld and they're getting the handheld shots, and then like the camera just like takes off because they've actually attached it to a drone and the drone's taken off, and it's gotten some very cool shots. Adolescence, he's just messaged me, thank you. Adolescence was the shot, and we got a shot very, very similar to that where it starts on the ground, you're like, oh, it's, it's a handheld shot, and then the camera just drifts up and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like the camera's just like taken off, and it's such a good quality camera. It's like DSLR, like 6K, f2.8. I think you can go to f2.0 as well. It's such a good quality lens that, I'm very excited to see what we can now get with this drone. So I bought a drone. I also bought a gimbal, although I've realized I might not actually need that gimbal, maybe with another purchase I've now purchased as well, because the stabilization in it is very, very good. But yeah, we got a gimbal because when we're doing events, and just being able to have that gimbal gets us super smooth footage and just makes it look a bit more professional than, shaky hand, moving around, a bit more like jerky movements when we're shooting things. The big purchase, so I've actually bought 3 Panasonic Lumix S1 Mark II cameras. Accidentally. So I bought the first one, and I ended up buying a 24 to 70 mil f2.8 Pro lens, which was like £1,700 just for the lens, and then the camera's like £2,500-3,000 or something. And then bought that, and then realized that I bought the wrong lens because there's a newer lens which I'm actually shooting on. This is now the Lumix camera I'm shooting on now. So I bought the wrong lens, so I ended up putting another order through for a camera with the right lens, and then I bought another one because I realized that of those 2 orders, I didn't put it through Top Cashback. So I ended up buying a third camera via Top Cashback with the right lens, with the right body, and finally got the cashback on it as well. And the cashback was 15-20%, so it was quite a decent amount back on obviously an expensive purchase. So then I've been messaging them, and I'm sending 2 of them back and keeping the one of them with the right lens. I've just bought the XLR top handle for it as well, so I can now do 32-bit float audio into the camera. Basically, it's an awesome camera. I'm just starting to play around with it. This is the first time I've used it. I've got a really, really nice color on it because before you would have seen this, my shirt was all like washed out, or like there's some weird texture with the color grade we were using. So very excited to do more with this camera, see what the color grade looks like when we actually put it into main channel videos. And so I'm also reaching out to Panasonic directly to see if they will just loan us some more lenses, maybe another couple of bodies, because if this goes well, we will look at switching our entire studio to Panasonic Lumix instead of using Sony cameras. Sony cameras are very good. We've got one of the Beast lenses, which are, let me have a quick look. So this is, so we have the FX, this is the FX3, and the lens we have on this, which is the main lens we use, is a 28 to 70 mil GM lens. It's an f2. So it is just, you can see the size of that is just gigantic. It is incredible. It's such a very, very good lens for all kind of shooting environments, but it is super, super heavy and super clunky, whereas the lens we're using right now is very compact, even though it does pretty much, you're missing 10 mil of zoom, and that's kind of it. So it's, very cool lens. So interested to see how that works. With the Lumix stuff, it shoots in OpenGate, and there's a whole funny OpenGate conversation going online right now of like, you don't need OpenGate, and then Gerald Undone got involved and made a short about it. It's very funny. But I'm excited to shoot OpenGate. It's such a pain in the backside to have to keep moving the camera, like changing it for vertical and short form. Whereas now I can shoot in like 6 point something K or 5 point something K. OpenGate, which uses the full sensor, and I can actually capture a 16:9 and a 9:16 at the same time, because you've got the extra height for those shots, and it shows the grid lines on the screen, so I can line up the shots. Like when we're doing unboxings, for example, I can shoot the unboxing, and I can crop it to make a short form vertical format video, and I also have the long form horizontal shot if we ever do like a long form video. So very excited to see what we can do with that lens, with that camera. The lens selection isn't as good as Sony, but again, I want to try out a few more lenses. I've got a Lumix G9 here with a 35mm lens, 35mm 1.8. So I'll move on. Panasonic Lumix camera, very cool, love it. What else did I buy? Oh God. Yes. So another thing we've been looking at doing is I have we bought a P300C, like an aperture big, like it's basically the sun. It's gigantic. It's super powerful, but we turn it on and just everything just gets blown out because it's too powerful. So what I've done, and I need to sort this out after shooting this, is arranged with Pro AV, I think I bought it from, to send that back to them. And then in exchange, they're going to swap it for a few smaller lights. We're going to get a 2 or 3 more Amaran, like 100, 150C lights. We're going to get 2 more soft boxes, which are just better suited for what we want. Basically, what we want to do is we want to have lights kind of everywhere in this studio space that we can shoot without having to move stuff around. Because at the moment, when we shoot certain things, we have to make sure we've moved lights around to make sure it's lit evenly. So I'm trying to get to a stage where we don't have to do that. We can literally shoot anywhere. I also bought a 120. I think was it 120 or 120C, like a slim light, which I can put behind me here, which you can't see the light. There's already a light here, but it's a really slim line, like LED panel light, which means I can put it in my suitcase when I'm traveling, and then have some form of decent light when we're doing like shots from hotel rooms and other places abroad. And we bought 3 Varipoles along with a load of clamps. So Varipoles are, I think they were like £60 each. And they're basically, I've got a light that's hung off of one right now. And the Varipoles are this like extendable pole where you push a lever and it kind of pushes it into the ceiling and into the floor. And it makes it like pretty solid. So you can now hang stuff off it, like lights or cameras or anything you want, without it, falling over. And this just saves us having a load of tripods with all the legs, all around the floor, and just making the studio a bit more messier. Also, if you have, which we do, but we don't use it really that well, a robotic vacuum cleaner thing, then it's got to navigate like 3 legs on lots of light stands and then cables and stuff. So these Varipoles just help us lift it all off the ground. Very, very simple, very minimal footprint around the studio, and just helps it tidy up a lot. And that was that. And the last thing I wrote on my list here was I almost bought a Ronin 4D because of the whole Adolescence and Ed Sheeran videos, because the footage looks incredible. But I would just hate myself for bringing that to CES. I already know I wouldn't bring that abroad, so it's pretty a wise decision. And instead I bought a Lumix, so very much there. Next on the list was something that I'm thinking about, but I'm not sure what I'm thinking about it for, because it's probably not going to change. Is that I saw an interview from Adam Mosseri, the guy that runs Instagram, and a question was asked to him where, if you don't post regularly on Instagram, how difficult is it to get your reach back, get the views and the kind of numbers you're used to seeing back? And he basically did confirm that if you're posting regularly, and then you take a few weeks, a month or 2 off, and then you start posting again, it does harm your reach having that time off. And this is something that I'm very aware of, because I basically don't post on Instagram. I have an Instagram account. I share the odd stories. When I travel and do press trips, I'll obviously share stuff that's going on at that time. But the rest of the time, I just feel like I don't have anything useful to share, so I don't. And then B, it's just like a time thing. I don't have the brain capacity to be like, we're shooting a video this week. We shot all the video, done all the stuff. Oh, now Instagram. I need to take some photos and write an Instagram story post, write an Instagram post, vertical video, and post a reel. And there's all the extra stuff that loads of other people seem to be able to manage. And I just don't seem to have the brain capacity to be able to do that. So I just thought that'd be an interesting one to mention if you are also trying to grow your Instagram and you have the odd week or maybe even month off, particularly around Christmas. People are going to be on the platform more. But that is something that I am very much aware of. The agency we work with actually reached out to ask us for updated statistics on Instagram and TikTok, so they obviously have more data they can send out to brands that they're working with and use to negotiate brand deals. And my stats are basically the same, because I haven't posted or really done anything on any of those platforms. So that is something that I really probably should be working on for next year. Which is something we can do, to be honest, because one of the things that has been a problem for a while is the whole not a problem, but the team changing, because we've had Matt's joined recently, which is now 6 months ago. Ben's been here a month or 2, so that's all now settling down. So now we have the time, and people are learning how it all works, and maybe there will be time to actually do Instagram content and shorts and extra posts and all of the stuff. Speaking of agencies, next on my list was how to find an agency, and this came from a comment. I can't remember if it was an Instagram or a direct message or whatever it was. But how do you find an agency, what the agency's like, all those kind of things. And the best recommendation I can have for you on how to find an agency is to speak to your friends. If you have content creator friends, speak to them. If you don't have friends, then DM creators directly on Instagram or Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Maybe not on YouTube, because YouTube will get lost in the comments. But you can find a lot of the time the email address, the contact email addresses for creators are just sat in the YouTube profiles, because us as creators, we want brands to contact us, and so we make our contact information very public. And so, yeah, if there is, a creator of a similar size to you, then just reach out to them and say, hey, love your work. Just out of interest, like, are you working with an agency? Do you know of any? Can you recommend any? Because my inbox is flooded with agencies. Like every 30 minutes, there's probably an email from an agency trying to sell me a brand deal. And the problem is, a lot of those emails coming in are, some of them are from Gmail addresses, and a lot of them are from agencies that don't actually have any clients, and they don't have any brand deals either. They're literally like just winging it on the basis of like, hey, we work with DJI and Sony and Samsung and like big brands. Would you like to work with us? We're actively seeking creators. And then what's actually happening is you say, yes, I'd love to work with you. So they then go and approach those brands and say, hey, we represent this content creator that's just signed up with us. We'd love to do some brand deals with you. Would you like to work with us? And so it's the whole like chicken and egg thing, but basically they don't have clients, they don't have brands. And there's a lot of that going on. So it's very difficult to know who's who and what's what and which are the good agencies and the bad agencies. I've been vocal about this before. I had a bad experience with my agency a year ago, which is a good time to talk about it, actually, to be fair, because that was on the list. I had a bad experience with them like a year ago, but then I signed up with them again, 3-4 months ago or so, very hesitantly, but I kind of jumped in the deep end because I had heard such good things about them. Like I said before, ask your friends. And so we jumped in, and it's been fantastic. Like literally one of the best decisions we made so far. However, this will explain probably why we had an issue with them a year ago, because I signed up with my agency this time-ish last year. It was like November, December. And once again, this time, like December, we've been having a chat with the agency, and they've been struggling to fill spots in December. So December is a quiet month. And actually, when I look back at our own stats, we actually struggled to fill a December ourselves. And it was only thankful for one of our regular brands that work with us that we actually did, we did okay ourselves, because we had that, we went to them and said, hey, can we, we're going to make these videos instead. Would you be interested in sponsoring and blah, blah, blah. And they sponsored. So it's not an agency issue. It's not a me issue. It's just it's a time of year. All the brands have spent their money on the Apple launch in September. They then, what money they had left over, they spent on the Black Friday week or month, whatever they're calling it nowadays. And then most people are saving their budgets up for CES in January. So December is this weird lull of a month where there's not much going on. Brands don't have much money to spend, even though it's just before Christmas and the perfect time to market and advertise. One video we are looking to sponsor is our Porsche video, which probably is going to go unsponsored. And actually, I'm not there's no issue with that, because I kind of planned for it to be unsponsored. And that's getting posted on the 26th of December, maybe before, we're not sure yet. But it's basically posting around a time of the year where people aren't going to be interested in buying stuff. So we thought that's going to be a good, interesting video for people to watch. Depending on how long it'll be, sit down, chill out on the sofa and watch this cool, fun Porsche video thing. So yeah, December was struggling to fill the sponsor slots, but because we've had a good, August, September, October, November, and we've already got a very booked up January, February, March next year, that we know we've got great months already either side. So having a quiet month probably isn't the worst thing to do, especially when we're, figuring our editing stuff out at the moment and want to take some time off over Christmas. So it's actually quite good to now know that we can get some time off. Although now we also have, we were all trying to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. Then we're all shooting ahead now. So when I was thinking, oh, that's cool, we can just take it chill and do this kind of thing. Because we're trying to take it chill, we thought we could take it slowly and cool, one video a week, we can do that, simple process. And I was like, cool, we need 2 weeks off. So now we need to crash all that stuff into this week and next week so we can then have the next 2 weeks off. So we're working through that at the moment. So the next thing, I'll mention this because it's an interesting thing, is that so we started, I started writing a video, and when's it going to be posted? I think, yeah, this podcast will come out before it gets posted. And it's a video about parental guidance. It's about how to set up devices for parents. So parents setting up their iPhone or Android phone And my God, the amount of work this turned into is just insane. So we actually took the decision to cancel one of our other videos. Again, there was another unsponsored video we had lined up, and we've said, look, let's just bin that video. Let's focus on this video, because this video is now, so the script for it is 36 pages long. And I think at last count, it was, God, how many words was it? It was some insane amount of words that is just, it's basically, when I ran it through, like, ran it through ChatGPT or Google or whatever, it was like, this is a hour and a half long script. And that's without, adding in pauses and breaks and music and intros and outros and those kind of things. So this video is likely to be an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours once we've slowed things down. And the reason why this kind of turned into a thing is that this is like I said, it's a parental guidance video, how to make sure you've secured your phone. But then it's like this rabbit hole of like, where do you stop? Because we started looking at, okay, you secure the phone. Okay, but now we need to like secure the apps that are on the phone. So we started talking about all the, the most popular apps, TikTok and Snapchat. I had to figure out what Snapchat was again, because I don't do Snapchat. And we went down that rabbit hole. And they went, okay, well, games. So we need to talk about like how to parental control various games, because Roblox is huge and Fortnite is huge. But then before we do the games, we have to do the gaming platforms. So then we started talking about PlayStation and Xbox and PC, and like how to share the games on those platforms, and then dive into the games themselves. But then you have to think about like, okay, well, web filtering. How do you like filter? And the further down we went, it's just like we get deeper and deeper into the various topics. And there was like, when do you stop? And so we stopped. We found the limit. There's going to be some things we've missed in it, but it certainly started off as a small video and has just blown up into this massive like project. And I am slightly concerned that it's going to just be an absolute flop on the channel. It's not going to perform that well. But equally, I do hope that it will actually do what I hope it will do. And it's very SEO targeted. So, it's not going to be, you're not going to see this video come up on your timeline and be like, whoa, I'm going to click that. That looks like such a good, informative, fun, edutainment video to watch. It's going to very much be a, people are searching online for how do I protect my child online, or how do I set up my kid's iPhone or Android phone for them, or whatever it is. And that was another rabbit hole of like, which device do you get for your child? So which phone, which watch, which tablet? So we have a whole section on that. And so I hope this will turn into like a big SEO type thing that YouTube will probably take. And this is like good advice of, if you are making a video that is a new video to you, and you need to like set your expectations here, so you prepare for your disappointment later on, if that makes sense. So my expectations with this video is it's going to be a 10 out of 10. It's going to flop on the channel. It's going to perform horrendously and be probably our worst viewed video ever. But my hope is that over time, it might be a month, might be 6 months. We've had that happen before, where YouTube tries new audiences, it tests the video, and it pushes it out to various people. And over time, the SEO traffic, people searching for this, it will pick up. It will pick up in the algorithm, and people will watch all of it. Maybe even before Christmas, because Christmas, people buying new phones or tablets or watches or whatever for their children. And this will be the video that they go to hopefully set it up before they like give it to their child. So maybe they're like, unbox the phone first and get it all set up and locked down and secured, and then put it back in and wrap it up and that kind of thing. So it has been a huge undertaking for all of us. It's currently being edited right now. But that was mostly in the research. So the research took the longest time. Shooting it took a good few hours, because it was just sat in front of a camera talking for like 2 hours. We did it across 2 days. And then there was mostly top-down footage. And I tried to speak slowly and clearly. And there's going to be breaks in the video, hopefully just to make sure people can follow along or pause the video so they don't I talk very, very quickly, naturally, as you can probably tell now. So hopefully this will be one that people can follow along and almost follow step by step, or at least point them in the general direction. The thing for me that was like such a eye-opener was when we looked at games like Roblox. Obviously, loads of bad press about Roblox. There are parental controls. You can put on parental controls. But so Roblox is like a collection of other user-made games. So like developers make games for Roblox. And then Roblox will apply like an age category to those games. So, younger kids can't play inappropriate games. However, I went into like the blocks list of, you can go into Page and start blocking games. And I just searched for the word shower. And like the stuff that was in there that was marked as safe for children, there was a game called Kiss that had like a hot tub as the like picture for the game, with two, I don't know what you call them, like figures, cartoon people like sat in their like bikinis or whatever, and the game was called Kiss, and that was marked as appropriate for like all ages. And it's just like that, and that's just the start of it. And there's so much more, so much worse stuff in there. There was like Snapchat. We were on in Snapchat. We logged in as a brand new user. The first video is like just boobs. You know, it's just there's just the craziest stuff. Same on TikTok. There was some weird stuff coming up on TikTok as well. And so yeah, I think that video on how to protect your child against all that stuff. Again, it won't be like it's probably going to be called the definitive guide, but it's probably not going to be the definitive guide because stuff changes all the time. There'll be a website blog post that goes up alongside that can then be updated. And who knows, maybe this will turn into just like a whole another category of videos for the channel, because I feel like this is something we should be doing, as like this is my, you know, very fortunate position of having access to a lot of technology. Well, let's show people how to actually secure that technology, especially around their kids, because it's just, yeah, a huge amount of, I know so many parents, they're just like, you know, hey, here's a phone, give it to their child, and that's it. And I know kids that are like sat there scrolling TikTok without realizing, like, you know, with the kind of stuff that can be on TikTok for adults. And so, yeah, last thing for this video, here's an interesting topic. So there is a website called Geeky Gadgets. I don't mind naming them, and I'm sure they won't mind me naming them. So the website called Geeky Gadgets, that me and my little WhatsApp chat group of people, there's like 30 or 40 of us in this chat at the moment, all content creators. And we chat from time to time. And every so often, this website comes up where they basically, and I'd love to know like your thoughts and opinions on this. Is this like good or not? Because they basically take other people's content. So if you've posted a video, they will take your video, write a blog post, kind of like, I don't know if they use AI or they're, you know, doing something, but they basically write a blog post version of your video, but then they do like attribute it to you. They do say, no, this video is posted by Pete Matheson. They will embed your video in their webpage. And so they're, you know, they're including data and stuff about you, but their entire website is made up of other people's content. So they're like using your thumbnail, they're using your video, they're using like, you know, the wording, maybe not the exact wording from the video, but they basically, I don't know. I imagine they probably put your, you know, transcript through ChatGPT and make it into a blog post and organize it and file it or something. The problem I have is that next thing on the list, and one of the things for me to fix this year is my website. So quite a few months ago, 6 months ago maybe, I said that I'd hired an SEO team and we were working to, you know, make the website good and SEO'd and improve the website so that before it comes to the Christmas and Black Friday and like all this kind of stuff, we're doing really well. We've got to Black Friday and Christmas, everything. Traffic is absolutely flying on the website. We are, every time we keep smashing through things. Last time I checked, it was like 40,000 views a month, 50. I think we were maybe at 60 or maybe over 60,000 views a month. And so it's doing really, really well. We're performing well for some of the SEO key phrases or keywords we're looking to target. It's getting to the level now where the ads on the website are bringing in $600 to $700 a month, roughly speaking. I've just had an email from the ad agency we use to now invite me to their like next level of ads, because we now have enough traffic to, you know, make that next level, whatever that next level means. We are starting to figure out how to track the affiliate revenue. So I use a tool called affiliate.com, which tracks all the affiliate earnings across most of the affiliate platforms, most of the big platforms. There are some platforms it doesn't support. And Amazon is still a manual import each month, which is a pain in the backside. But I use that platform to monitor how much, at the moment, it monitors how much I earn as affiliates from like completely. What it should also do is identify how much I'm earning from the website in affiliates. The problem is that whole part of it seems to be broken right now. But I know that, you know, I've made one conversion on one day in November on the website. So it's tracked something. It's just not tracking everything. And so I know something's broken somewhere. I'm going to go and try and like, maybe I'll click on a link on the website and buy something and try and figure out why it hasn't tracked, because it's definitely not working properly. But so my focus is growing my own website. And yet this Geeky Gadget site is taking my content and in some cases posting blog posts about my content before I've posted my own content to my own website. And so all I can see with that is Google's going to see that content and go, well, these guys are the original source of that information, not this guy who actually made the original source of the information, the video that they're referencing. And so, to be fair, I spoke with Kyle Erickson, who's a friend of mine, or another content creator friend of mine in this group, and he had like a template letter I could then use, like a DMCA takedown request thing, which basically is that's like semi-legal letter you send across saying, hey, as per DMCA, blah, blah, blah legislation, I own the copyright for all the stuff that you've got on your website. This is my first formal request to remove everything with my name against it. And to their credit, they did it almost instantaneously. It was the same day, I'm pretty sure. And they're apologetic as they sorry if there was any harm caused, blah, blah, blah. We've done it. It's taken care of. And chatting about it in our little group, I'm two minds. On one case, this is, you can't stop people doing it. This is, just, The Verge and Macworld and, all these kind of websites, all they do really is like pull news from various places and make that their thing. But they also then write content based on aggregated data. They don't literally rip off someone's content and just rewrite it for their own website. So on one hand, I can see, yes, that's like an interesting thing to do. But on the other hand, they are literally making a ton of content with none of it being original. None of it is their own content. They're monetizing. They've probably got ads on the website. They've probably got affiliate links on the website. So they're monetizing content without doing, I wouldn't say any work, because there's obviously some work involved in taking the content and putting it somewhere else and reposting or AI'd or whatever it is. But interesting to know your thoughts and comments around that. But they removed the content, so now my blog posts or my videos are the original source. So hopefully that will improve our listings with Google. We've improved our domain authority. So all websites online have like a ranking, like a domain authority ranking or rating. And we've improved it by 10 or 20, I think, in the last few months. I think our domain ranking is now like in the 30s, which is very good. Most, we started out in the 10s or number 8 or something. So it's very good to improve the domain ranking, which means we just have more authority with our content. And where else was I going with this? That's basically it. So like we're putting all the effort we can into this to try and improve something, and then I'd rather not have someone else like obviously take all the effort away and do something with it. So those are my thoughts on how things have been going this week. Hope that was interesting, useful. Obviously, feel free to ask any questions in the comments down below. If you do want to know anything, feel free to DM me. People do ask me on the YouTube comments. Feel free to leave some YouTube comments. But I will leave you there. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and I will speak to you in the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.